Okay, hello everyone. We're going to learn today to do some spicy shrimp, or how they call it in Latin America. They call Camarones a la Diabla. And it's very easy to do. Again, very few ingredients, simple ingredients that I'm sure we all have at our house. And if not, you can actually go out and purchase them. First of all, you need about a pound of shrimp. You can either get cooked shrimp like I have here, or you can get raw shrimp. The only difference is that if you get raw shrimp, you'll have to cook the shrimp a little bit more when you have it, when you're cooking it. So that's the only difference. If it's cooked, you cook it. If it's not cooked, you cook it more. If it's cooked, you cook it less. Besides that, you're going to need garlic, which we have right here. 3 garlic cloves, finely cut up. So we're going to cut up some garlic. We're going to need pepper, which is right there. You can kind of see it. We're going to need ketchup, which is right there. 1/3 cup of ketchup, and pepper and salt. Actually, you're going to do to taste, whatever you like. If you like pepper a lot, put pepper. If you don't put any. And the same thing with salt. So that's up to you. And then what gives it the spicy taste is what we have here. We call these dried peppers, and in Spanish they're called chile de árbol. You can find them in the grocery store. You can buy a whole bag like this for like less than $2. And if you don't know where to find them, go and look in the Hispanic spice section, and you can find them there. So that's all you need to make spicy shrimp. 3 dried peppers, 1/3 cup of ketchup, pepper and salt to taste, 5 tablespoons of butter. I forgot to mention that first, yeah. So 5 tablespoons of butter, and 3 garlic cloves, nicely cut up, and 1 pound of cooked or raw shrimp. Okay, so that's our ingredients, and now we're going to start with our first step to make to make camarones a la diabla. Okay, our first step is to wash the shrimp. Make sure you wash them, and then you can pat them dry. That way there's not any excess water. And the second step is to cut up your garlic, your 3 garlic cloves. Cut them up. If you don't want to use garlic cloves, you can also use garlic powder for this. I'm not sure how much garlic powder, but you can just, wing it and see what's best for you. So that is our first step, to wash your shrimp. Second step, to cut up the garlic cloves. Our third step is going to be to melt the 5 tablespoons of butter on a pan, and after we melted the butter, we're going to go ahead and add the garlic cloves until they're nice and brown. Okay, let's go ahead and do that next. Okay, so we're melting our butter here. It's melting. While that's going on, you're going to come here and you're going to put the 3 dried peppers in a pan and just heat it up a little bit. We want to heat it up so that the chilies can start to get soft. So we're going to do that while we melt our butter. Okay, that is our next. Okay, while we wait for the garlic to brown, so we can add the shrimp, we're going to go ahead and we're heating up the chilies like we're doing that right now. But we're going to go ahead and put some water to boil. And once the water starts boiling here, we're going to add the chilies to the water to make them even more softer. And after we do that, we're going to go ahead and blend them. So while we're waiting for that butter and that garlic to get ready, we're heating up the chilies and we're heating up boiling water. Once boiling water starts, we're going to add the chilies. Okay, so the butter and the garlic are ready, and I've added the shrimp. I actually added a bit more butter because this looks like it's a little bit more than 1 pound of shrimp. So it looks like it needed a little bit more butter. So now we're going to just simmer the shrimp with the butter. Again, if your shrimp is cooked, you don't need to simmer it as much. If your shrimp is not cooked, then you do have to simmer it for about, cook it for about 10 minutes or so. Well, over here, it looks like our water is boiling. So while we leave that, we're going to take our 3 chilies. Hopefully they're not that hot. And we're going to put them in the boiling water. And just leave them there for a few minutes until they soften up. So again, we're simmering our shrimp with our butter and our garlic, and we're going to just leave those there for a few minutes for them to get a little soft. Our next step is going to be to take that ketchup, the salt, and the pepper, put it in a blender, and mix it with that, and that's going to give us our spicy sauce. Okay, so that's our next step. Okay, so our chilies are out of the boiling water, and I cut them up in little smaller pieces so that they can blend easy. Try to get all the little seeds in there too, because that just makes it spicy. So you can use, I mean, I use 3. If you want more spicy, you can use 5, or you can use 1. You know, it depends on how spicy you want the food. And of course, we have our shrimp. It's still simmering a little bit. So now we're going to put this into our blender, and after we put it into our blender, we're going to add 1/3 cup of ketchup and some salt and some pepper. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do 1/3 of ketchup. This is my measuring cup. This is actually 2/3 of a cup, but inside there's a little measurement for 1/3 cup. So we're going to go ahead and let the ketchup drop and do 1/3 of ketchup so that we can continue doing this. And actually, you know, once you do the recipe and finish, you cannot even taste the ketchup. So if you don't like ketchup, let me move this out of the way. If you don't like ketchup, like some of my family, you don't even have to worry, because you won't even be able to taste the ketchup. Okay, so that's 1/3 ketchup. We've already put in the chili, and now we're going to add the ketchup in here with the chilies. Oh, doesn't that look just yummy? Okay, so once we do that, we're going to do the next part. We're going to add salt and pepper, and then we'll do the next part. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this and add salt and pepper. Okay, so there is our ketchup. We're going to now add the pepper. I used about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And then after we do that, we're going to go ahead and add the salt. Okay, and now here comes the same 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now our next step is the trickiest out of all of them, I think. We're going to need to take all of this butter, or you know, what the shrimp is simmering in, and we're going to need to put it in here. And the reason I do this is because if you try to blend just this, you're not going to blend anything, because the ketchup is so thick you won't be able to blend anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out of the fire, take all of that butter and put it in there, and after we do that, we'll be able to blend it. So that's okay. Well, we took most of the butter out. I left a little bit in there, that way the shrimp doesn't burn or anything get stuck there. And here is the butter mixture that the shrimp was simmering in. We're going to take this and we're going to pour it in here with the ketchup. That just looks so yummy. Believe me, you're going to love this recipe. Now we're going to start blending away. Okay, so once everything is blended, this is our mixture. Don't worry, the orange is supposed to look orange. I guess once you mix the yellow butter with the red ketchup, you obviously get orange. So now we're going to go ahead and take this. Oops, I spilled a little bit there. And we're going to pour it all over our shrimp. And we're going to mix it. You're gonna, when you blend it, you do have to blend it a little bit really well, because you know you have the chili in there and everything. So now we're going to go ahead and mix this and make sure everything is coated. We're going to bring up the fire there a little bit. It's always good to let food simmer, that way you know it can just grow with the flavor and catch the flavor. And okay, we're going to let it simmer there for a little bit and make sure it's all mixed, and then it's ready to eat. So we'll take it out after we let it simmer there for a few more minutes. And ta-da! That's the end result. We have some spicy shrimp, or how Latin Americans like to call it, Camarones a la Diabla. They're really good, delicious, and they're not, well, they are spicy, but they're not too spicy. I am not Latin American, and I think they're just the right amount of spicy. So go ahead and try it and see if you like it. I'm sure you will. I guarantee this recipe 100%. Unless you're allergic to seafood or shrimp, then I wouldn't eat it. Okay, well, that is all. If you like it, leave me a comment. And if you don't, well, I'm so sorry. Bye.